You're getting ready for a date, and instead of pre-gaming with a shot of liquid courage or planning to meet at that trendy cocktail bar, you're actually excited about grabbing coffee, going for a hike, or trying that new pottery class. If this sounds like you lately, you're not alone. Welcome to the sober, curious dating revolution that's quietly transforming how millions of people are approaching romance. I'm talking about a movement that's reshaping everything we thought we knew about dating, relationships, and connection. From college campuses to corporate professionals, from dating apps to real-life meetups, people are choosing clarity over cocktails, and the results might surprise you. But before we dive deep into this fascinating trend, let me ask you something. When was the last time you went on a date completely sober? Not because you had to drive, not because you were on antibiotics, but because you genuinely wanted to experience that person and that moment with complete clarity. If you're struggling to remember, you're definitely not alone, and that's exactly why this movement is gaining so much momentum. The term sober curious might sound like just another wellness buzzword, but it represents something much deeper. It's about questioning our relationship with alcohol, especially in dating contexts, without necessarily committing to complete sobriety. Think of it as dating with training wheels off, experiencing genuine connections without the social lubricant we've been conditioned to rely on. Sarah, a 28-year-old marketing professional from Portland, told me something that really stuck with me. She said, "I realized I had never actually been on a first date sober. Every single one involved drinks, and I started wondering who I really was in those moments and who these people really were." This revelation led her to experiment with alcohol-free dating, and the results completely changed her perspective on relationships. The numbers behind this movement are staggering. According to recent surveys, nearly 30% of millennials are drinking less than they did 5 years ago, and Gen Z is consuming alcohol at historically low rates. But here's what's really interesting. This isn't just about health concerns or saving money. It's fundamentally changing how people approach dating and relationships. Dr. Jennifer Martinez, a relationship psychologist who's been studying this trend, explains it perfectly. When we remove alcohol from dating scenarios, we're essentially removing a mask. People are forced to be more authentic, more present, and more intentional about their connections. It's scary for some, but incredibly liberating for others. So what's driving this massive shift? Let's start with authenticity. In a world of filtered Instagram photos and carefully curated dating profiles, people are craving real connections. Alcohol, while it might make us feel more social, also creates a barrier to genuine intimacy. When you're sober on a date, you can't hide behind liquid confidence. You have to show up as yourself, vulnerabilities and all. This authenticity extends beyond just the individual level. Sober, curious daters report having more meaningful conversations, remembering details about their dates better, and making more thoughtful decisions about compatibility. Instead of wondering if the chemistry was real or just alcohol-induced, they know exactly where they stand. Mental health awareness is another huge factor. We're living in an era where mental wellness is finally getting the attention it deserves. People are recognizing that alcohol, while socially acceptable, can exacerbate anxiety, depression, and other mental health challenges. For many, sober curious dating is part of a broader commitment to emotional well-being. Take Marcus, a 32-year-old teacher from Chicago, who started sober curious dating after recognizing that alcohol was becoming a crutch for his social anxiety. "I thought I needed drinks to be interesting or funny on dates," he shares. "But when I started going on sober dates, I discovered that I was actually more engaging when I wasn't trying to manage the effects of alcohol. My anxiety didn't disappear, but I learned healthier ways to cope with it. The economic factor can't be ignored either. With inflation affecting everything from rent to groceries, the cost of dating has skyrocketed. A typical dinner and drinks date in a major city can easily cost over $100. Sober, curious dating opens up a world of creative, affordable date ideas that focus on shared experiences rather than shared bar tabs. But perhaps the most compelling reason people are embracing sober, curious dating is the desire for deeper connections. In our swipe-right culture, where dates can feel more like job interviews, removing alcohol forces people to get creative about how they connect. Instead of relying on drinks to break the ice, sober, curious daters are rediscovering the art of conversation, shared activities, and genuine interest in getting to know someone. This shift is also being driven by a growing awareness of alcohol's impact on consent and communication. Sober dating ensures that all parties are making clear, informed decisions about physical and emotional intimacy. It eliminates the gray areas that alcohol can create and promotes healthier relationship dynamics from the very beginning. The dating app industry has taken notice. Platforms like Lucid, specifically designed for sober and sober-curious singles, are gaining traction. Even mainstream apps like Bumble and Hinge now offer filters for people who prefer alcohol-free dates. This technological support is making it easier for like-minded individuals to find each other and normalize sober dating experiences. But let's be honest about the challenges. Sober, curious dating isn't always easy. Social conditioning runs deep, and many people feel nervous about dating without their usual liquid courage. The fear of awkward silences, social anxiety, and concerns about being perceived as boring or uptight are real obstacles that sober, curious daters face. Emma, a 26-year-old graphic designer, describes her first sober date as terrifying but enlightening. She explains, "I realized how much I had been using alcohol as a social crutch. Without it, I had to actually engage, listen, and be present. It was uncomfortable at first, but also incredibly empowering. The social pressure can be intense too. Friends might not understand the choice, and some potential dates might be put off by the suggestion of alcohol-free activities. However, many sober, curious daters report that this actually serves as an excellent filtering mechanism, helping them connect with people who share similar values and priorities." So what does sober, curious dating actually look like in practice? It's far from the boring stereotype some might imagine. Sober, curious daters are getting incredibly creative with their date ideas. Morning hikes, museum visits, cooking classes, farmers market tours, rock climbing, art galleries, volunteer activities, sunrise yoga sessions, bookstore browsing, live music venues that serve amazing coffee, escape rooms, and outdoor adventures are replacing the traditional dinner and drinks routine. These activities naturally encourage conversation and shared experiences. Instead of sitting across from each other at a bar making small talk, sober, curious daters are engaging in activities that reveal personality, values, and compatibility in organic ways. Coffee dates, often dismissed as low effort, are being reclaimed as intimate opportunities for connection. Without the dinner pressure or alcohol expectations, coffee dates can extend naturally into walks, bookstore visits, or other spontaneous activities based on how the conversation flows. The benefits of sober, curious dating extend far beyond the dating phase. Couples who start their relationships with sober dating often report stronger foundations, better communication skills, and more honest connections. They've learned to navigate social situations, resolve conflicts, and enjoy each other's company without relying on alcohol as a social lubricant. This approach also tends to attract people who are more intentional about relationships. Instead of casual hookups facilitated by alcohol, sober, curious dating often appeals to individuals looking for meaningful, long-term connections. This alignment of intentions can lead to more successful, fulfilling relationships. The trend is also reshaping social norms around dating and relationships. As more people embrace sober, curious dating, it's becoming increasingly normal to suggest alcohol-free date activities. This normalization is particularly important for people in recovery, those who don't drink for religious or health reasons, or anyone who simply prefers to socialize without alcohol. Restaurants and entertainment venues are responding to this trend too. Many establishments now offer elaborate mocktail menus, alcohol-free wine and beer options, and environments that don't center around drinking. This infrastructure support makes sober, curious dating more accessible and enjoyable. The movement is also influencing how people think about long-term relationship compatibility. Instead of wondering if their connection is real or alcohol-enhanced, sober, curious daters know their relationships are built on genuine compatibility and mutual interest. For those considering trying sober, curious dating, the advice from experienced practitioners is surprisingly consistent. Start small, be honest about your intentions, and focus on activities you genuinely enjoy. The goal isn't to judge others who choose to drink, but to explore what dating and connection feel like without alcohol as a factor. Many people find it helpful to have a few go-to explanations for why they're suggesting alcohol-free dates. Simple statements like, "I'm trying to be more mindful about drinking," or "I love being fully present on dates," are usually well received and can even spark interesting conversations about wellness and intentional living. The sober, curious dating movement represents something much larger than just a trend. It's part of a broader cultural shift toward mindfulness, authenticity, and intentional living. In a world that often feels disconnected and superficial, people are seeking deeper, more meaningful ways to connect with others. This movement challenges long-held assumptions about what makes dating fun, romantic, or successful. It suggests that genuine connection doesn't require chemical enhancement, and that the most meaningful relationships are built on clarity, honesty, and mutual respect. As we look toward the future of dating and relationships, the sober, curious movement seems poised to continue growing. It offers an alternative to hookup culture, a response to dating app fatigue, and a pathway to more intentional relationships. Whether you're someone who's never questioned your relationship with alcohol or someone who's been sober curious for years, this movement offers valuable insights about connection, authenticity, and what it means to truly know someone. The next time you're planning a date, consider suggesting something that doesn't revolve around drinking. You might be surprised by how much more you learn about your date and yourself when you're both showing up completely as yourselves. The sober, curious dating revolution isn't about judgment or superiority. It's about choice, clarity, and the radical idea that our most meaningful connections happen when we're fully present for them. If this video has sparked some curiosity about sober dating or made you think differently about your own dating habits, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Have you tried sober, curious dating? What was your experience like? And if you haven't, what's holding you back? Don't forget to subscribe for more content about dating, relationships, and the cultural trends that are shaping how we connect with each other. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest insights into the fascinating world of modern relationships. Remember, whether you choose to drink or not, the most important thing is being intentional about your choices and honest about what you're looking for in relationships. The sober, curious movement is just one path toward more authentic, meaningful connections, and it might be exactly what you've been looking for without even know.